cheat for what they did to you and what they did to me. They say I'm in the cult. I guess I'm in too deep. I guess it's really deeper than it really needs to be. Forever is one West. Forever we the best. You don't want to test. There's only one West. Cult leader. Yeah. We speak the truth, but we a cult leader. Yeah. Well, bitch, and I'm a cult leader. Yeah. Well, bitch, and I'm a cult leader. Yeah.
Wages of sin, death to your cult leader. You ain't one West, so you don't know scripture. Nah, you ain't in the truth, so we don't know niggas. Look, I had to change my ways, I don't know sinning. Got the name changed, not to Zaya, how would I? How was I ever in the world? I gotta ask myself. Man, the white man, the devil, I ain't imagining. Put this in the hill, but my people can't imagine hell. I'm in the field with black natives and Hispanics. Never drop my sword and I don't panic like Muhammad. The church, the house of Satan, they just want your time. And you could go against the law, but you won't survive. MLK had a dream, we getting birthed alive. Want me to love my enemies, the worst of fights. If you ain't educated, you don't worship Christ. Nah, say you don't worship Christ.
Cult leader. Yeah. We speak the truth, but we a cult leader. Yeah. Well, bitch, and I'm a cult leader. Yeah. Well, bitch, and I'm a cult leader. Yeah.
Shalom, Israel. This is Officer Durak out of the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohanda, founded out of 125th Street, Harlem, New York. And we're here to teach the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that they are the true inheritance of all the blessings that they speak of. That also that their forefathers were all the prophets that are written about in this book. So today we're going to go on a few scriptures showing and proving that. We're going to show that there's color in the Bible. We're going to show and prove using this book that the prophets were black. And you know, I'm pretty sure you have had the Christians come up to you and try and give you pamphlets. And on those pamphlets, none of the prophets have any color. And I usually look out and tell them that, well, you trying to start a conversation with me and you're starting out with a lie. And they say, well, color doesn't matter. But yeah, the problem with that is that it takes your power from you. It makes you feel like you have to worship them and that your way to heaven is through them. And they have you believing it's in the clouds when actually it's on earth. But let's get into it, Israel. We're going to start out with Daniel chapter 7, verse 9. Daniel chapter 7, verse 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down. Salakia. I'm going to start again. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the ancients of days did sit. The Ancient of Days. This is the creator of everything seen and everything not seen, whose garments was white as snow, and the hair of his head like pure wool. His hair was like pure wool. Pure wool. Now, you know who have woolly hair. We've been mocked for years about having our woolly hair. Now woolly hair is a fad. The Edomites got spray that they used to make their hair curl up and try and look like ours, so just so that they could have that look. He had woolly hair. So that lets you know right there. He had color. His throne was like the fiery flame, and the wheels as burning fire. So you know, I mean, that throne of his was like something to behold. It was shining, and you know, it was all bright. You know, even the wheels shining clean. You know, like when you go and shine your car up. You know how his brothers is. We get our car, you know, we take our time shining up our vehicles, you know. Our Hispanic brothers, you know, they take their time and we make sure our stuff is clean, you know, and we get that from the Most High. So with that, I'm going to go to Revelations chapter 1, verse 13 through 15. Revelations chapter 1, verse 13. And in the midst of the seven candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. So, you know, he was clean. This brother right here was clean. He got on a golden belt. His belt is gold, you know, shined up. His head and his hairs were white like wool. White as snow, like wool. You know, we see the brothers with the woolly hair, their hair is all white. You know, they got the white mustache, the white beard. You know, their hair that's woolly, just like a lamb. And his eyes was as a flame of fire. So, you know, he had them like, you know how those hardcore brothers is, and they just look at you and just like be mugging you, you know what I mean? You really don't even want to make eye contact because you don't want no problems. That's how he was, a fierce man. And his feet unto fine brass. His feet was like fine brass. Now everybody know brass is like I'm like a brass color. This menorah is a brass color. As if they burnt in a furnace. So say you take a penny and you burn that penny. What color do you get? Black. But what has the Christian pastors been teaching you? He's been showing you somebody with pale skin, straight hair. They've been showing you that for years. Part of the problem, they're not part of the solution. You need to get your power back. Realize that this is all about your ancestors, about your power. This is all about you. This is your book. That's why they used to have a slave Bible. They didn't want you to read about the feet, the color of brass, in the woolly hair, because it would empower you. They want you to be weak. In his voice as the sound of many waters. You know how they say we talk loud. Oh man, you know some partners. Matter of fact, today this brother was outside my window and I didn't say nothing. I wanted to say nothing, but he was talking to this female, and man, the brother was loud. That's that voice. We had that heavy, deep voice. And Yahweh Shai had it. He had that deep, heavy voice where, he's sitting up on the mountain, and when he talked to the multitude, everybody heard him. He didn't have no PA system like we have today, but everybody heard him. So with that, I'm going to go back to Daniel chapter 5, verse 6. Daniel chapter 5, verse 6. Then the king's countenance was changed, and his thought troubles them. Oh, Salakia, excuse me. I am in the wrong place. I knew that didn't sound right. Bear with me for a moment. Here we go. Now I got it. Salakia. Daniel chapter 10, verse 5. Then I lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose lions were girded with fine gold of Uphaz. Now, Uphaz is a place over in the African continent where they had the best gold. They're known for this, how pure of a quality that their gold was. It was highly sought after. And he just, there's that gold belt. You know how we like to get all dressed up. Brothers get their t-shirts, some iron lines down the middle. Some like they t-shirts just iron straight. Wash it, hang it up, make sure it's clean, ready to go. Are they getting ready to go out? And oh man, it's gotta be clean. They pulling out their best outfits. You know how we get, Israel. We get chopped up. We're the salt of the earth. We dress so tight. The rest of the nations be biting our style. They changing our style, their styles, to fit ours. So his body also was like the beryl, in his face as the appearance of lightning, in his eyes as lamp of fire, in his arms, in his feet, like in color to polished brass. There we go again. Polished brass. Color. So the next time when you out in your neighborhood, going to your little local supermarket, and one of those people come up to you, the Christians, and pass you out a flyer, tell them to tell you the truth. Don't start out the conversation with a lie. That's just because if they're lying about that, what else are they lying about? What else are they lying about? And the voice of his words, like the voice of a multitude. So when he talked, his voice was rumbling, boy. You know that guy used to say, let's get ready to rumble. He had a PA system. No PA system back then, but you're going to hear them words. With that, we're going to go to Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 5 through 7. Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 5. Also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures. Talking about the angels. And this was their appearance. Now he's going to describe them. He's going to tell you what they look like. They had the likeness of a man. They looked like a man to him. They had the likeness of a man. And everyone had 4 faces, and everyone had 4 wings, and their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot, and they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. There we go again. Burnished brass. So all this stuff you've been seeing all your life about these white angels flying around. I seen a YouTube video where they was saying it was some white angel out there flying around. Hey, boy, you know if it's white, it's faulty. Because the book is saying something different. And you're supposed to test them spirits. I would test them spirits. You think you got some angel and you got, something totally different invading your life. That's why Edom be having all that spooky stuff going on and stuff flying all through their house. Nah, we don't get down like that because we know that that's faulty. We know that that's not true, that that's a lie. So with that, we're going to go to Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5. Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5. I am black. This is King Solomon. I am black. Every time you see something on TV, ancient aliens or whoever's talking about King Solomon, they never say that he's black. They leave that part out. That's deceptive. I am black, but comely. I'm black, but handsome. So you know them dark-skinned brothers. You know the real dark brothers. You know they get all cleaned up. You know got they matching outfit on. You know got on their nice shoes. They sharp. You know I am black, but comely, like James Brown. What'd he say? I'm black and I'm proud. You know, James Brown was a dark brother. You know how you walk outside, you done showered up, doing your little smell good, step outside, nice day, you getting ready to get into your rider, bunch of women everywhere. They checking you out like, yeah, I'm black and handsome. That's right. You looking at it, you looking at a black, handsome man. Color in this book. It's color all throughout this book. I am black, but comely. O ye daughters of Israel, as the tents of Kendar, as the curtains of Solomon. He's telling you right there, you know, as the tents of Kendar. The tents of Kendar is black. You know, letting you know right off the top. As his curtains. You know, black curtains keep that sun out. It was in the east. You know, so there it is again. Color in this book. There's a lot of color in this book. Find out who you are in this book, because you're in here. For too many years, our people haven't been shown who they are, the greatness that they came from, and the greatness that they're headed to once they start obeying not just the laws, but the laws, statutes, and commandments. So with that, we're going to go to Job chapter 30, verse 30. Job chapter 30, verse 30. My skin is black. I'm going to read that again. So I don't think people understand. My skin is black, not milky white, not the color of marble, not like the color of the clouds outside. My skin is black upon me, and my bones are burnt with heat. My people are dying because they lack knowledge. I was at work, had a youngster, he was like fresh out in the world. He was like 19, training him on how to load these freight trucks and unload them and check the damage and all that stuff. And somebody said something about about our book. And he looked up and he said, man, and this was before I was even in the UPK. He said, man, God is white. I said, we looked at him and said, what? And I was just shocked that he even thought that. That blew my mind. I was just like, wow. I said, no, brother, you need to read. I said, that book, you read it for yourself. Quit going by what people was telling you. Just don't listen to me. Follow these scriptures, open them up, read it for yourself. So with that, I'm going to go to Acts chapter 13, verse 1. And this is the New Testament. Just so that you know, as you see, I'm going here a little, there a little. I'm going from the Old Testament to the New Testament. The Christians don't follow the Old Testament. Then you got the people that don't follow the New Testament. So just to let you know that the New Testament only backs up the Old Testament. It's not changing or taking away nothing. It's saying the exact same thing. So Acts chapter 13, verse 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simon, that were called Niger. They called Niger. So you could see how easily that word got twisted to nigger through logistics, which actually is a Latin word which means black. So that's where all this word come from, the origins of it, back in the day. Here it is, there it is. Color, black. There is color in this book, so read this book for yourself, black man. See it for yourself. And Lucius Cyrene and Manaen, which had been brought up with Herod the Tetrarch and Saul. So how many black apostles was that? We just named, let's count them. 1, Cyrene. 2, Manaen. Saul. Lucius. Barnabas. Simon. That's 5. That's 5. And that means they were darker than me. I pretty much be considered, I'm a ruddy nigga. So let's get our education in, start following those law, statutes, and commandments. We have classes in the ISUPK. 6 days out the week, Monday through Saturday. Online classes at 4:00, and we also have other classes scheduled out the day. Sabbath classes on Saturday starting around 10. You could pull us up on the internet, isupk.com. Check us out on Facebook and also YouTube. Shalom, Israel.